Hey guys, just a heads up, if you hadn't watched my video on the second French embassy to Siam, this video you're watching here is the meat of what I really wanted to cover. I recommend watching that video if you want to know the background behind this book. As for today, I'll be reading the English edition of Loubére's book, called A New Historical Relation of the Kingdom of Siam, from the University of Oxford's Text Archive. Let's begin. A New Historical Relation of the Kingdom of Siam, by Monsieur de la Loubére, Envoy Extraordinary from the French King to the King of Siam, in the years 1687 and 1688, wherein a full and curious account is given of the Chinese way of arithmetic and mathematical learning, in 2 tomes, illustrated with sculptures, done out of French, by A. P. Gen. R.S.S. London, printed by F. L. for Thomas Horne at the Royal Exchange, Francis Saunders at the New Exchange, and Thomas Bennett at the Half Moon in St. Paul's Churchyard, 1693. The introduction is titled, The Occasion and Design of this Work. The occasion of this work. At my return from the voyage I made to Siam, in quality of His Most Christian Majesty's Envoy Extraordinary, they whose right it is to command required me to render them an exact account of the things which I had seen or learnt in that country, which will be the whole matter of this work. Others have sufficiently informed the public of the circumstances of this long voyage, but as to what concerns the description of a country, we could not have too many relations, if we would perfectly know it, the last always illustrating the former. But that it may be known from what time I write, I shall declare only that we set sail from Brest on the 1st of March, anno 1687, that we cast anchor in the road of Siam the 27th of September in the same year, that we departed thence for our return the 3rd of January 1688, and that we landed at Brest the 27th of July following. The design of this work. My design is therefore to treat first of the country of Siam, its extent, fertility, and the qualities of its soil and climate. Secondly, I will explain the manners of the Siamese in general, and then their particular customs according to their various qualities. Their government and religion shall be comprehended in the last part, and I flatter myself that the farther the reader shall advance in the perusal of this work, the more he will find it worthy of curiosity, by reason that the nature and genius of the Siamese, which I have everywhere endeavored to penetrate into, will be discovered more and more. In fine, not to stay on things which would not please everyone, or which would interrupt my narrative too much, I will at the end insert several memoirs which I brought from this country, and which I cannot suppress without injuring the curiosity of the public. But if notwithstanding this precaution I do yet enlarge on certain matters beyond the relish of some, I entreat them to consider that general expressions do never afford just ideas, and that this is to proceed no farther than a superficial knowledge of things. 'Tis out of this desire of making the Siamese perfectly known that I give several notices of the other kingdoms of the Indies and of China, for though rigorously taken, all this may appear foreign to my subject, yet to me it seems that the comparison of the things of neighboring countries with each other does greatly illustrate them. I hope also that a pardon will be granted me for the Siamese names, which I relate and explain. These remarks will make other relations intelligible as well as mine, which without these illustrations might sometimes cause a doubt concerning what I assert. In a word, those with whom I am acquainted do know that I love the truth, but it is not sufficient to give a sincere relation to make it appear true. 'Tis requisite to add clearness to sincerity, and to be thoroughly informed of that wherein we undertake to instruct others. I have therefore considered, interrogated, and penetrated, as far as it was possible, and to render myself more capable of doing it, I carefully read over before my arrival at Siam several ancient and modern relations of diverse countries of the East, so that in my opinion this preparation has supplied the defect of a longer residence, and has made me to remark and understand in the 3 months I was at Siam, what I could not perhaps have understood or remarked in 3 years, without the assistance and perusal of those discourses.